Early in my sales career, I was literally struggling with sales. Have you ever been in a situation where your client began to pity you? They tell you stuff like, "We understand, don't worry, just go to the last page, just show us the number, we can understand." I've been there several times and it doesn't feel good at all. I would walk into every meeting with a mix of anxiety and self doubt. I thought to myself, why is selling this hard? Could it not be a way out? And I began to ask myself, is this what every single salesperson, every single business person out there go through? I'm always nervous about every sale because I don't want to lose any client. It was so bad that despite the fact that I know the amount of a product, I would reduce the price in my mind before telling the client. It was that bad. So I wanted to build connection, but I was building barrier. One pitch that still stands out for me, I had prepared endlessly. I was ready. I've gone through every preparation I knew how to. So when it was time for me to make my presentation, my fear took over. The meeting was so stiff that my client started pitying me. They started telling me, don't worry, I understand it happens to people. I know you are scared. Don't worry, it's okay. Why not just go to the numbers? Let's go to the last page. Well, they began to pity me instead of getting them into emotion so that they can make decision and buy the product. It was that bad. I don't know if you have ever experienced that before, where your clients pitied you instead of making decision to buy a product. So that moment forced me to start asking different questions. I was asking questions like, was it me? Was it that I was too scared? Was it that the price was too high? Was it that I got the wrong client? But while I was asking those questions, I began to research, read books, watch YouTube videos and all. I discovered that it wasn't me. It wasn't that my presentations were bad. It wasn't that our products were not so good. It wasn't that I could not close sale. It wasn't even that I had the wrong client. But the only reason was because of my mindset. Could you believe that I reduced the price of my product in my mind before reducing the price on the paper? Can you imagine? Take for instance, there was one scenario. The client asked me, how much is this product? The product was worth 50,000. I was scared and conscious of my response. I knew the price was 50k, but I could not say what was written on the paper was 50k. But in my mind, I already reduced it to 40k. So I said, "Sir, it's 45k." Then when I handed the paper for him to sign, he saw 50k. And he was like, "Okay, 50k." And I said, "No, I just felt I should give you 5k bonus." Man, it was that bad. So I made a change. I told myself that I was going to start building connections instead of trying to sell. So I said to myself, before every pitch, I rehearse it over and over again. That the major thing I want to take out of this meeting or this presentation is that I want to be able to build meaningful and genuine connection. And that changed the game for me. That changed the game for me. So for every meeting I go to or for every presentation, my major aim, whether or not I'm able to sell the product or close the sale, I want to leave there with a genuine connection with the people. And this has brought me much more sales because the people now see that I am more interested in what they want or solving their problem rather than trying to push my product on them. So I replaced my doubt with confidence and I was much more conscious of what the client needs. I was much more curious about how to make them happy. And the most, this has brought huge difference to how I approach sales. The approach of being concerned about building genuine connection and helping people put me at a state where I am much more relaxed. So when I want to sell a product, I'm not trying to push the product to the client. I'm just trying to ask enough questions to be sure that I am the best fit to solve their problem. And when they realize that I am curious about how to satisfy them, they open up to me and they tell me where to put the rope. I mean, how to close the deal without me trying to sell to them. So they are much more open. They give me much more information. I know how urgent they need the product. I know what the product is going to do in their life. So it's as simple as that. So when I tell them the price, they embrace it because they feel they need it. And we have uncovered their pain point. They now want the solution so bad that they can't wait to make payment. I hope this helps you. Perhaps you are in that situation where you feel selling is very hard. It can be so easy. If only you change the narrative, if only you have a mindset change that you are not going to try to sell, but instead of trying to sell, you are going to try to help your clients. And by so doing, the best way to start helping your client is by uncovering their pain point, is by asking them questions that will drive their pain home and that will help them realize what they will miss out on if they don't buy the product, as long as the product can solve their problem. How this helps you, I would like to get feedback from you. What do you learn from this? Have you ever been in that situation where your client was beating you? They tell you, please go to the last page. We understand. Show us the number and we'll be good. And they will never get back to you. How this helps you. See you in my next video. Thanks.